This one's a little bit longer, but I hope that I can gain your respect here to listen to it in full. These people have been trying to determine every aspect of my life because, I don't know all of their reasons, but I do know that they wanted to hide who they were from other people. And they weren't determining my life as a way to help me in any fashion or to love me. They never cared because their twisted version of that mental wellness, quote unquote, only depended on my silence. And so they were silencing me with the poison, and I didn't learn that until far later in life. It's like I kind of knew something when I was a kid wasn't quite right, but with the arsenic trioxide poisoning, I guess you'd have to study what it does to your mind, because it makes you feel sick and it makes you feel like you need support that you just aren't able to get. The love and support, and especially coming from the ones that should have been there to give you that support and to be that support system. So it's awfully hard to deal with. When you loved your people and you come to find out that they did not love you, when how could they? Doing these kinds of activities against you. So they needed me to suffer, specifically so that they could portray to others that they're sane and that they're well-to-do and feel safe doing it. Feel safe in what they've done. And it's just so that they don't have to look in the mirror or feel ashamed and face what they've done. Which is why I say that we're in the age of spiritual awakening, not the age of information anymore. But people have been ignoring the age of information big time. So it's why I've created a lot of my ministries, because personally, I don't believe that the devil should be getting any portion of a person's life, and especially not with what we're going through in this day and age, and especially not with what I've had to deal with personally. So I've been trying to build a platform of hope and of healing, restoration, just to name a few of the areas that it would cover for people to campaign and people to actually get the help that they're after in life and not be ignored. But let's not pretend anymore for these people, former friends and former made of themselves, family members even, and girlfriends, or your partner, past partners. We've prayed for them. We've prayed for them, and we've been diligently going to the Lord about it all. Correct? And so that part's more private between us and our dear Lord. But they still kept on choosing to work on that downfall and choosing to go to work diligently on crafting it, because not only were they poisoning me, but there's things that we grew up with based on the flightiness of my own father to take and avenge over somebody else's life in the fashion as he had. And people can portray that he's a healed person or a healed version, that he got help and he's a better man now, but he's not. I've been asking for help for years on end as far as this stuff is concerned, with who people wanted to be, who people were going to decide to be, what they wanted to move like, and they made up their minds. I believe they made up their minds. So it's really hard because we're supposed to pray for our enemies. They do not know what they are doing. They do not know all of the demons that they're faced up with. So that's what heart work is about. It's about as well learning those things and learning how to prevent ourselves from becoming that way with the people that we love and with the people that we're supposed to be in solid relationships with, having better for ourselves and for our lives with each other. It's to build a camaraderie that I've never personally been able to experience. And I've seen smiles of joy, laughter, and that shared camaraderie with people that might not even understand what they have. And I'm sure that there's a lot of pain still hidden behind some of those smiles. So it's about not only knowing that pain or delving in deeply into that pain, but it's about wanting release from it that isn't a release into death or into further decay, but a release from it that brings actual healing to our bodies, our minds, and our spirits, so that we can enjoy our childlike spirit that we've been so long forgotten because of the constant fight mode that we've been stuck in. So while they were choosing to work on our downfalls, we wanted to own that better part of ourselves, that best part of ourselves. So while they wanted to own every breath we take, we're fighting for healing, while they fight harder for more and more control. That's why they hack you. That's why they data map you. That's why they're working to take over your phones, your lines of communication, and your availability to income. Because if they take my car, for an example, and my driver's license, when I moved further out, basically in compliance with what they wanted for me over what I would have wanted for myself, which I've explained before, that I couldn't stand that I wasn't given another month to look for another place based on my emotional stance where I was at that moment with Jesse. I was just trying to make it work in a way where I could not only move move out here, but I could work on isolating myself from the devastation that I believe he wanted to create in my life and craft because of past relationships and past things happening that yet again happened. So no, I didn't want these things to take place in my life. Nobody would have wanted for them to take place in their own lives. Not a person would actually be too happy about that fact, especially when it was staged for me to end up dead. So there's ride shares and stuff like that, but with time and energy and the resource of my heart feeling the way it does, I truly need myself back. I need my identity back from these people, and they've stolen so much of my identity without my awareness of where it was happening from, where these covert attacks were coming from. You know, looking for work but not finding work, to having to move differently, and in that way it offered me more availability to change than anything else that was being given to me or that was transpired for me to be able to have in my life. And at times I just felt like they didn't want it. They didn't want me to have that. And so it was really confusing to me, because I'm like, why would they be moving this way if they truly loved me and they were truly my support system and my supporters? Like, who do I have then? Where do I have to go with this? Because it's very frustrating and confusing when you're not able to find yourself a way out. And that's not just coincidence or your confidence or anything like that. That's just strategy on their part to entrap you. And then when you're already detoxing and you need that detoxing, and you're going in for help because you feel like you're like having a heart attack, or you're past a heart attack that you still need help with based on the things that these people did to you. And then all of a sudden the medical community is gaslighting you even further with not believing you, and it's really like, it really feels like not only are they not believing you, but they're choosing not to believe you. You see, it's strategy again. While you need that process of elimination to say, okay, well, how about I don't know what's going on, but I know it's very physical. Can we do a process of elimination and try and determine what's going on and what's wrong with my body? And the answer is still geared towards mental health, and that's all it is. Okay, so shortness of breath, feeling like you're having symptoms of the aftermath of a very long-standing covert arsenic poisoning, or some kind of poisoning or chemical attack on top of it, that you're just supposed to be okay with it. Or you're supposed to be okay with thinking that, oh, it's all in my head. That's all it is. Just anxiety. Yeah, just anxiety. Well, do you got a test for anxiety then? Because I'd like to see it. I'd like to see the anxiety on a test. My heart's dropping to 0, mind you. I'm like hooked up to EKG. My heart's like, and I'm tired. I'm already like drawn thin, tired, sick, sad, sore, hurting, emotionally, physically, and then you're having them not do anything for anything. The only thing I got both times going in was a meal. They didn't give me Tylenol. They didn't give me an anti-anxiety as they were suggesting it was. Sure, an anti-anxiety pill will help me out at this point, but it's not just anxiety. It's not. It's what I'm telling you it is. It's a crime that's been committed against me, and there's nobody anywhere that's trying to actually help me allow myself to my own reasoning structure to be able to get what's owed to me. Not only by finding that representation, but my identity. And anyone that can suggest that they're alive and well-to-do and blah blah, whatever, and then be working on this way by craft in the first place, without even being able to confront you as a person, in person, without having to continuously craft on your downfall and get the system involved, and the system's gonna be pumped up and ready to protect them the same way that they're protecting the Epstein files and all of the people who visited the island to rape children. And so I have a problem with it. Not only within my own life, but I got a problem with it. With how these people are supposed to be. Our system, the system that we gave agency to, not to take away our agency, but to help us in the times of need, to help us with real crimes, to help us with investigations. And instead of helping us within any investigative work, they're making us the innocent parties of these things into not only the victims that they need for us to be, but they're also making us into the wrongs that they are. That's why they blacklist you, and that's why they blackmail you. That's why they purposefully put things in your path to hurt you, to make you feel like you're the one with the problem when you're not. It's called psychological abuse and manipulation. And then, so in these places know damn well that I needed chelation, and to get these toxic tort type of situations out of my body from many exposures, mind you. They know, if you ask me, they know that the poison is real, that I'm speaking from facts and from self-made evidence of what crime had been permitted to take over in my life. They know far well what they were doing. They know far well that these things hurt me in the worst ways. And they know far well what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis, even hourly, minute by minute, as if right now, like right now. This whole conversation, I have this pain that's in my arm, and I'm not too happy about it. Not at all. And neither would anyone else be. So they know damn well that I needed detoxing, and without them doing helping me with the chelation in the general, I needed that hot water because hot water can help you can sweat it out in that way. Dispenser closed. Okay. I was gonna get gas here. Said that they were open. It's okay. There's another place up the road. But they know that these things are the way that it works. Sweating it out, having things entered into your body to get the toxic metals to bind to the metals, like cilantro and other things can help. Ashwagandha can help calm you down. So it's not just them deteriorating me, it's them deteriorating me with neglect. So there's biological warfare, there's spiritual warfare, among other ways of instigating warfare in my life, physically as well. It's poisoning up the availability I have of my own self to be able to go to work on myself and to get these things out of my body for myself, you see, which is what I've been trying to do. And so taking away my hot water then causes me more time, energy, and resource to hopefully get out of this situation to where I can live my own normal life again, where I would have been able to live it before. Rollerblade, drumming, working on my creative passions, working on my dreams, building this website, petitioning, getting out there, challenging others to care more about these things, not like, oh, we're not allowed to have like a conversation about it and build a dialogue at all. We allow instead for conversations like this to be censored, like my Facebook being maliciously attacked and hacked and taken away from me. It's to stop me from being able to try and speak out at all or reach a network at all. Who cares? So I've said it before. My first account, I was up over 3,000 friends. This one was up over 1,500, or this last one, and now I'm back to 50 something friends, 60 maybe now. It's just sad because they're literally staking out the avenues that I have in my life when they're shutting off my water, then next shutting off my electricity, knowing that they took away our availability of landlines a long time ago because we're limited resources and funds. And so with them moving about our lives in this fashion, it's staking claims on every last avenue that we have left of growing the income available to be able to live in a world where landlines just aren't available for the poor in general. And it's to land us in a situation where we're not going to be allowed the help that we need and that the help that we deserve to get. So without any proper phone, you're just a sitting duck, then an isolated target that they know that they've created in an invisible war. And that's the game, because they need you well within the works of this operation. I gotta massage my leg here quick. That's just another part of, if you look up the arsenic poisoning, what happens is it creates diabetes basically, and then I haven't been able to get any kind of response back as to what happens with the arsenic abuse on top of taking the medications for diabetes. I felt it was going to kill me, like it was going to leave me like white out and going down to the ground dying, but that's what I felt, and that's why I stopped taking it, because I didn't feel like I would be alive right now to tell my story. That's for sure. But I need people to stand up for me, even if it's just one message over Facebook. Hey, how's it going, Matthew? I saw your story online. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with what's happening to you. What can I do? You know, because if it's not instigated in the fashion of people actually being able to come forward and help each other, and the world can't progress in that fashion, the whole world is desolate as far as love is concerned, and without true love and anybody praying for the whole world and those hearts, the opposite of love is death. And so people think the opposite of love is hate, or they think the opposite of love is fear. And I could see the fear part over that, because what's the opposite of hatred? It's growth. It's ascension. It's everybody able to move forward in a way that's beautiful. But because the world chose not to bear witness to the crimes that are happening to me, you'll never know the real me. Much like I don't feel like I get a chance to get to know the real me. So I've been wanting to figure out a way that I could get to know the real me, in a way that I could do things to change the world. And I have a vision, and I believe in my vision. I believe in healing. I even believe if I'm able to get to the income support that I need, that I could get to the things that can help take these things out of my body, give me energy back. I'm not having to wake up basically feeling like I gotta fall right back asleep. But people can heal, and people can do a lot of things to cure themselves of what's happening in their health and within the world around them. And so if we can pray for our enemies, maybe we can make space for those that we love better than we have ever been able to, and that we can live more beautifully than we've ever been able to. So even while I've been poisoned and hacked and hunted in this fashion, it still occurs to me that people should be able to be purporting that there's better out here in the world. And the worst of all of these actions is that the adults just don't seem to understand, unless they do understand and they're working in the devastation of a person. But literally like 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds understand this stuff more than the adults do. And that's what's happening in this day and age, because they grew up in the age of information, and now it's the age of spiritual awakening. And so a lot of them have been still very spiritually connected, because no one's closer to God than the young, the born. So yeah, there's that too. And anyway, please stay connected to my message. If you can, share some of my stuff on your own Facebook wall or your X account or wherever you do social media, and just share it with other people around. If you can, it would mean a whole lot to me if you could offer me any kind of financial support in this hardship that I'm going through, because I would like to take back my health in a way that is able to work my mission, get my heartworks activated, have all 12 areas of classes and courses be made available to people, not only the free classes and courses for pay it forward, but to actually show people how to make money and earn them money, and let them decide if they want to utilize that money to join the rest of the system and grow. Because I think that what I've been working on for years on end is more beautiful than anything in the whole entire world. So that's why I'm looking for your support mainly. But in the general, I just don't want to fall asleep at night and not end up waking up. I want to get these toxic metals out of my body, and I want my body to heal, because I totally believe in the Lord, and I believe that with the Lord all things are possible. So if you can, pray with me that Lord Jesus come into this with us, and not allow any kind of weapons to transpire in our lives any longer. Not even be formed against us. Don't even let them form them, O Lord. And instead, let love in. Let love in, and allow our enemies to drop their weaponry. Allow our enemies to go to you and turn to you, O Lord, for repentance, and maybe they should have a little fear towards the wrath of the Lord. But we're praying for their spirits to be turned to the Lord, so that we can enjoy what life is left before we end up dying. But it's so that we can live more beautifully amongst each other than we've ever been allowed to live before. True camaraderie. So thanks for being here. It means a lot to me. Peace.